Sanctuary. Sanctuary.
It was funny, I ran into to Harry one night. It was a Christmas party at the Blue Creek Dive Center, and I had catered the party, and Harry asked me if I wouldn't mind doing a couple nights in the restaurant just to spell his chef. And so I said, yeah, I could pick up a night or two, just as long as it's not a full-time commitment.
Wow, so this just do a little bit, can you turn into 15 years later
15 years.
Being the head chef, the master chef here.
Well, it's funny. I wanted to work at the Trade Winds from the first day I arrived in Vegas, from the first time I got here, because I love the place, I love the layout, I love the location. And at the time, there was a chef here named Kathleen. She was a very good, very talented chef. So there was no position available, and then it never quite worked out. Either I was available and there was nothing here, or vice versa. And then finally things fell into place.
Well, lucky for us here at Trade Winds, and I have to ask you just a couple cooking related questions, and then we will go ahead and we're making fish cakes tonight?
Yeah, we're gonna make fish cakes.
Ooh, excellent. Okay. That's something I think that most of us at home can try to make, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because the sauce I had on my Indian salmon last night, acerola.
Acerola. It's an acerola beurre blanc. Acerola is the Caribbean cherry. I use the Caribbean cherry concentrate in a classic beurre blanc with white wine and white vinegar reduction, and the concentrate from the cherries, and you whisk in whole butter at the end. It's relatively simple, but it's rich and sweet.
Oh, the blend of flavor. Every bite I thought I could never make this. Now hopefully tonight you'll be showing us something that we can all try to make. But there's something you can have all the same ingredients, but two chefs, just put them together different.
And that's often the case.
You have an incredible amount of patience, it seems like, because one thing you taught me a long time ago was the word reduce. When I asked you what was important, you said with sauces. That was a word you used.
No, it concentrates the flavors, it adds a richness to it, it adds a consistency that's palatable. If you don't reduce the sauce, it's just like putting slop on a plate.
It takes so much patience, though.
We had a chef here briefly at one time who had all the credentials. He was culinary trained, CAA graduate. On paper, he looked like the perfect fit, but his sauces were wretched. And he would serve a plate, you'd pick the plate up, and everything would slosh off the plate because he hadn't reduced the sauces. And it's patience. Yeah, you need that extra minute, and it's worth that extra minute to let the sauce concentrate to the consistency that you want. That's palatable.
And how do you know when it's the right minute to take it off the stove? How do you know?
I've been doing this for over 30 years, and I just, by look, by the sound of something, I can tell, even without looking at it. If I hear it from behind, and I can hear if it's just starting to get to the point where it needs to come off. Roasted red peppers. Red cow is the local cilantro. All right, got peppers, onions, medium dice.
Something smells really good.
It's the cow.
Oh.
The local cilantro. So I'm gonna rough chop. And all this is going in a food processor.
That is a lot of yummy looking vegetables. So to review, it's onions, roasted red peppers, green peppers, cilantro.
And we've got about a tablespoon of allspice. A little bit of allspice goes a long way, but this is going to make a lot of fish cakes.
A lot of fish cakes being...
Oh gosh, this batch will probably make 40 to 50 fish cakes.
Great, so this would be great for a party, right?
Oh yeah.
Can you freeze them and
Yeah,
cook them like the day before? And
freeze quite well. Yeah, they actually you cook them to order. But okay, so we're gonna add. Let's see, 1, 2. That's about a half a cup of.
Show us that. What is that?
Coco Lopez, just a sweetened curry. There's 1, 2. Say about 3 tablespoons of curry powder. This. Get in there first go around. Now that I've made a little room. Every kitchen uses the Cuisinart. Because we've got that puree in another pot. We have 1 pound of butter.
That you just added?
I just added 3 hot pickled peppers.
Hot
So you get-
pickled
Yeah,
peppers.
so these are they're spicy, hot, and the heat of the peppers with the sweetness of the Coco Lopez is a nice contrast. Okay, here's the pot. We got 1 pound of butter. Which I'm going to add 3 pounds of salted codfish.
And you said you earlier took the salt out of the butter?
Out of the codfish.
Out of the
You just rinse it with cold water and then soak it in cold water for a time. Change the water 1 or 2 times to get rid of the excess salt.
So how long do you soak it for?
Several hours anyway. You can soak it overnight.
Okay. And then you use salted butter. 1
No,
pound.
no, it's unsalted butter.
Oh, okay.
No. In the food service industry, you rarely see salted butter in use. Because, as we talked about earlier, reducing sauces, if you add salted butter to a sauce and try to reduce it, then you're going to concentrate the salt and make the sauce too salty, unbearable. So you always want to use unsalted butter. So we just heat that up. The butter is melted. It begins to boil a little bit. So now that the butter and salted cod have come to a boil, we're going to take the mixture of peppers and onions and saute that as well. Saute that briefly, heat it through. Shut it off and add Japanese breadcrumbs, the panko.
Panko.
The Japanese style breadcrumbs. You could use regular breadcrumbs, but these are not seasoned and they have a nice consistency, nice even consistency. I've had 12 cups of Japanese breadcrumbs, just enough to bring this together. The salt cod and the vegetable mixture, and we've allowed that to chill for about an hour or so, because we're going to, to that we're adding whole eggs, some grated Parmesan cheese, and about one whole bunch of chopped scallions, just roughly chopped scallions. And we'll mix all that together and adjust the consistency to make them form into a patty. When the patties are made, we dredge them again in the panko, in the Japanese breadcrumbs, so you've got this nice breadcrumb outer coating. You don't have to do a classic breading with flour and eggs and breadcrumbs. Just dredge them in the crumbs and they'll adhere to the patty. And then saute them on both sides until they're warmed through. And we serve them with our Tradewinds tartar sauce, which is caper and lime mayonnaise.
Yum. If cod is not available, can you suggest a couple other fish that
you could use any fish, any white fish, any mild white fish, but the salt cod, you've got that classic flavor of the bacalao, which is part of the bacalao is very common in Puerto Rican cooking and cooking throughout the Caribbean, which just lends itself to the Caribbean fish game.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you so much, David. We love you here, and
My
thank
pleasure.
you very much.
My pleasure.